What is going on? What's crazy?
He got stabbed at one of his parties.
Dude. You say he's on a mission from God. What Lord do you serve, my friend?
Brazil! We got a new character, Brazil. Who is it?
It's your boy, Bruce.
Y'all ready or what? 2 days.
I don't trust you anymore, dude.
So something major just happened in Brazil like 2 days ago. Any idea what it was? What is it?
An election.
Ding 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 ding!
I know Brazil!
You guys had no idea?
No.
That's
It's
just
the guy
good.
one that you guys hate.
Well, we'll just leave that to the viewers to decide. I will take no sides. Do you guys have any idea the name of the president elected?
It's a guy.
It's a dude.
No.
Some might compare the two, but no. Jair Bolsonaro. Jair Bolsonaro. Bolsonaro.
Bolsonaro.
Good enough. Very controversial candidate. I believe he won with like 52%. If that's incorrect, I apologize. Well, we'll skip the ads.
On your videos, never skip the ads. Fully run them through.
Never skip the ads. Esse vídeo é feito em parceria com Intercâmbio do Zero, um guia completo onde você aprende como planejar seu intercâmbio de estudo e trabalho em 3 semanas, economizando de 300 a 3 mil reais. E já que a gente tá falando de economizar, a galera do Intercâmbio do Zero disponibilizou um desconto incrível para você que tá assistindo esse vídeo agora. Então vai no primeiro link da descrição, adquire já o seu e-book e realize seu sonho de morar fora do Brasil.
Brazil is at a turning point. Experts are calling this the most important presidential election in Brazil's history.
Love the flags.
In the first round of voting, a field of 13 candidates was narrowed down to 2. Fernando Haddad represents the leftist Workers' Party, which has been in power for much of the past 2 decades. But with only 29% of the vote, he's by far the underdog. It's far-right candidate Jair Bolsonaro that has gripped the nation's attention. With 46% of the vote, he's favored to become Brazil's next president, which would mark a dramatic shift in the country's politics. That's because Bolsonaro is a longtime congressman who is known for his ultra-conservative and deeply offensive rhetoric.
So far, thoughts, anything?
I have no idea what that guy's saying on the screen.
Very Trump-like.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Let's keep going.
Eu acho que nem para procriadores serve mais. Jamais eu tô para você que você não merece.
Whoa. What is going on? What's crazy?
Whoa. Jumping to
So far, this seems a little radical. There you go.
Yeah.
Radical could be a bad word and a good word.
Right now, he's a bad radical, though. Okay.
Like radical, dude.
Yikes.
Sparked widespread protests and outrage. It's become so bad that at a campaign rally, the candidate was stabbed by a man claiming he was on a mission from God.
That's
But
wrong.
despite
He got stabbed at one of his parties.
Dude. You say he's on a mission from God. What Lord do you serve, my friend?
You're like getting at a party and you just get stabbed. He's like,
Dude.
Brazil's wild.
I would resign after that. That would be my cue, like, yo, I might be a little too
My
much for
cue?
these people.
Now you're like literally a superhero if you live through that, dude.
I really just wanted to show the video just for that.
it skyrocketed to the top of the polls.
After he got
So how
stabbed.
did this relatively unknown congressman garner so much support? And what does this mean for Brazil's democracy? The country was ruled by a military regime from 1964 to 1985. It was an era marked by violence, torture, exile, and censorship.
I'm sorry, Brazil.
It was during this military regime that Jair Bolsonaro began his career as an army captain. When the regime fell in 1985, Brazil Bolsonaro entered politics as a staunch far-right conservative, eventually becoming a congressman for Rio de Janeiro.
Eu sou favorável à tortura, tu sabe disso. E o povo é favorável a isso também.
And he continued to show an affinity for the military dictatorship. Just look at these photos in his congressional office. The portraits on the wall are presidents from Brazil's military regime. Bolsonaro hasn't changed.
That's like his sign for like the campaign. Just like
We got
guns.
shooters.
O caos vai ser instalado no país, se a lei vai ser desrespeitada, então compete às Forças Armadas impedir que isso ocorra.
Brazil's homicide rate was nearly 6 times that of the US.
Yeah, that's what
In a country that shares border, the biggest cocaine producer, Brazil's
Why are you
violence
making
stems
fun of
from
me? I'm paying attention to this kind of stuff. This is
I
important.
already watched it. He doesn't want us to know.
Have you seen the video?
Not at all, I promise you. But I knew that Brazil's crime rate was above
He
America's.
knew that stat
Because
before
of
the
the
video.
video.
Anyway.
Because I literally
Because I...
this kind of stuff. What's
Okay.
wrong with me paying attention?
Oh.
This kind of stuff.
Nate, I know you've seen this before, so don't spoil it.
Violência, então eu acho que ele é o único que tá talvez vá combater, dar uma segurada nessa violência.
See, it's kind of like the opposite of like America. Right now in our country, law enforcement people are considered like a negative thing. Like people don't respect law enforcement. They don't want a politician that is really pushing the agenda of like law enforcement. But then he's the opposite. People are like, yes, let's stand with our law enforcement because the crime rate is so high that we need somebody that's going to basically like more cops on the street type of thing.
I don't think it's a horrible idea. I'm not saying they should go and shoot people.
He's not just saying cop, he's saying like the military needs to step in.
If they're not respected, at least in America, cops are still respected. You'll still obey what the cop has to say.
But you got to take into account Brazil's history of not being a democracy.
But you don't know Brazil's history because when I've said facts about Brazil, you actually know that verified in that.
When you think about Jair though.
Oh, he's calling him by name now, Jair. I like it. Jair.
He doesn't know anything.
Jair.
He could potentially take Brazil back to an era that they were free from.
I don't believe in dictatorship either.
Yeah, I know you don't. You know, it's just a.
Dude, we got someone against me right now.
I just agree with you, bro.
You just play the video.
For weeks, Brazil has been consumed by allegations of corruption and bribery at the highest level.
I was with you when that happened. You told me all about it.
A massive corruption investigation known as Operation Car Wash uncovered a money laundering scheme that...
Have you guys ever heard of Operation Car Wash?
I knew there was something about money
Nate
laundering.
probably has.
Oh my god. It's so me against knowing things about Brazil. I lived with you for a year. I knew some of these things.
No, that's cool. Alright, what's Operation Car Wash?
Essentially, everybody was money laundering. President, everybody in the government, like the biggest companies in Brazil. And the party that was running against Bolsonaro was involved in it.
Against Dilma Rousseff, Brazil's president during the scandal. Rousseff
Like
belonged
Batman.
to-
What does Batman do there? Did anyone else notice Batman walking by?
We have Batman too, dude.
He's everywhere.
Nós temos que afastar essa nação criminosa.
For corruption.
Nós temos que afastar.
Bolsonaro was actually one of the pivotal votes for Rousseff's impeachment in
What is in that
2016
shot?
when he openly dedicated of widespread torture and murders during Brazil's dictatorship.
Carlos Alberto Brilhante Ustra, o meu voto é sim!
My vote is yes.
The corruption scandal also helped Bolsonaro by removing his strongest opponent.
Convicted for corruption, the man better known as Lula was forced to bow out of October's presidential race.
In September this year, ex-President Lula da Silva, who was in jail for corruption, was banned from running in the presidential race.
That's a good reason,
Even
right?
from jail, Lula was polling far above any other presidential candidate.
But that's my question for Brazil. Why, when someone's obviously cheating the system, why would you still want to vote for him? That doesn't make any sense to me. If you know he's doing illegal things and he's in jail.
Mas eu vou de Bolsonaro, porque pelo único motivo de mudança.
Eu acho que ninguém aguenta mais o PT.
It just reminds me of America right now in our political climate and how people elected, someone that is just outside the norm. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's still some positive things to Jair.
Jair, yeah.
Yeah, Jair. I don't think everything about him is negative. I just think you have to be careful with certain people being in power.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get a lot out of that video, but what I did...
Of new things.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't agree with him going in and shooting people. I don't think cops ever shoot people, but I agree with that. Cops make people feel safer. I don't know if he's the right guy, but obviously the other party was pretty corrupt, so I would not vote for that party either. I think they see him as probably a guy that has the right agenda, but maybe he just said some things that are a little whacked. We've all said things that are a little whacked.
We're not running for political office, though.
I might be. Brazil! Next president of Brazil!
Please don't vote for him, please.
Whether someone leans right or leans left is obviously because their party's agenda in some forms might be beneficial. It can be carried too far. There's a point where it does more damage than good.
And the leader is a reflection of the country too. There's another thing that's important.
That's right.
Like, subscribe.
Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Hit him up on the gram.
Nader_Gator.
IVmusic_.
MattSlack95.
Mateus, give me right.
Pipe it up, 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 pipe it up. I walk in the club just to pipe it up. I stand on the stage and I pipe it up. Get a regular hotel.
Say stuff to the camera and yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be in English?
It'll be in English with subtitles.
Are we gonna hold this the entire time?
No, when I put the video on, I'll get it back. But you can.
So Bruce, what do you do, man?
I'm a therapist and I'm a singer too, but I do therapy.
Ain't plugging it right away.
He went for the plug. Yeah, go in there. What's your IG?
Ivy Music _
Yeah, you can find that. You know wait. Slack, what do you do again?
Dude, I don't even know.
What kind of instruments do you play?
What
instruments do you play, dude?
Dude, I play keys. I play guitar.
What are you the best at?
Keys.
Everything.
Guitar.
He's a magician on the keys, bro. He's a magician on the keys.
So I hear you have like some new stuff coming out, Bruce, right?
I do.
On the lookout for that?
Please be on the lookout for some great stuff. It's gonna be dope.
This is all getting cut.
Oh, 100%. Mateus always cuts the stuff I put in there.
I just put it in the end. Come on over in my direction. So thankful for that. It's such a blessing, yeah. What? 1, 2.
Got a sign, I know what you want.